Hey everyone, welcome back to Mentor TCG. Today we're going to talk about a couple of things here concerning YuGiOh TCG. As you can see here, we're actually going to be showcasing one box for Photon Hypernova. This is going to consist of a lot of good stuff that's going to be going for Despia decks, branded, Kashtira, Tearlaments, Bysteel decks. It actually has a lot of support cards for all those decks that are actually topping the YuGiOh format, the meta right now. So really looking forward to this. I finally made my way to our local shop for the very first time since we started trying to get back on the YuGiOh side and to actually see what's actually topping there. These newer decks have a lot of negates and they just have an answer for everything. If you're not running one of those decks, you can run other decks. It doesn't have to be one of those meta decks, but definitely with today's game, it is fast paced and you can actually finish 3 games within a 40-45 minute, or a best of 3s at least. Going to our locals, I did buy a box. Amazing Defenders, and this is what we actually got. We got Rescue, Ace, Hydrant. These are our ultra cards from this set. I'm not going to spend too much time on these. You also got Alert, and then we got Mikanko, Water Arabesque, which is a pretty good card. But from what I've noticed and what I've seen there, a few of us bought some boxes. Everyone came with at least one collector's rare card, and for me, we got My Friend Pearly. And I played this deck, and as cute as they look, they still stomped on the actual old school deck that I was running. Even though if I was to run one of those structure decks, it wasn't actually as fast paced as the rest of these meta decks and tier 0, 1, 2 decks. They have answers to negate a lot of stuff, not as slow as it used to be. But the good thing is with actually going to locals, some of my friends are preparing to go to YCS 250 and it's time to brush off all the dust, start learning a deck that's actually gonna help us top and see where we can land just to have fun and some time together. So with that said, I've opened up the rest of this case for Photon Hypernova, and it is amazing within these cases. It's pretty much well structured, a lot better than what I've seen in the past few boxes, and as well as quality. Let's even talk about the quality of the cards. From what I've seen back in, Tactical Masters as well as Darkwing Blast, there was not really a lot of respect shown to the cards. There was damaged cards all over the place and it was very disappointing, but actually going through this, there's not much of that. I can even feel a little bit of a tighter seal on these packs for the Hypernova and for actually the YuGiOh cards. So it was really good to actually see that here. We won't talk about all these cards. And a lot of support cards, a lot of archetypes, but we want to stick to the ones that are actually going to top. So we got here Yagura Maru, the Armor Ninja, Abyss Script, Land Flipping, Photon Emperor, and we already have here Wave Bridge. Awesome. So this is a secret rare, and from what I've noticed, there's at least 2 secret rares per box, at least 4 ultra rares. So that's the typical of what I've seen in these boxes. So here we got Wave Bridge. This is one of the trap cards. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters than you do, your opponent must send monsters they control to the graveyard, so they only control 1 monster. So if you have 3 and they have a total of 5 monsters on the field and you activate this, given it is a regular trap card, so it's going to be kind of difficult to pull off. But if you are able to, they go from 5 or more down to single 1. So that's pretty cool. Kashtira Overlap, Abyss Actor, Super Producer, Bysteel Baldrake. If you are running your Bysteels, you do want to add 2 or 3 of these guys, I believe. Looking at different decks, I am going to be running a Bysteel deck. More of a branded Despia, but have the Bysteels in there. And I'm looking at how I'm going to create it, of course, with Baldrake and the rest of the Bysteel cards. We got XYZ Align. We have Chaos Witch as your super. Go ahead and set that to the side. Vala, Circle of the Fairies, Chaos Phantasm, and Bio Insect Armor. We got Gigantic Thundercross, Core of Chaos, Shell of Chaos, Dinomondo, and our Gold Pride Nitro Head. Been looking at the art and how they're all fire and pyro. It's pretty sick. Casimolar, Focus Aqua Mirror, couple of Aces, Mineraruku, Numeron Creation, Evil Eyes, Unleashed, Giant Ball Game, and as you can see, here's our Ultra card in number C62, Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. It's a lot to say. Number 62, Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. This is an XYZ monster, and you have to have 3 level 8 light monsters. You can also XYZ summon this card by using number 62. You control, transfer the materials to this card. At the start of your battle phase, you can detach 1 material from this card. This card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during this battle phase. If this card has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon as material, it gains these effects, unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, and also gains attack equal to the combined levels ranks of its attached materials times 100. That's insane. It's already a 4,000 beater. It negates if you have underneath it Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, that means it's negating and it doesn't have the effects of your other monsters on the field, and that's pretty good. Let's keep it going. The closest shop to my house, a lot of them are running tier limits, and because of the ban list just hitting on for February 6th, I should say, there's a lot that is going to be changing going forward. Of course, tier limits got hit, Kashtira, Sprites got hit with Sprite Elf, and that's going to hurt them a bit because that's completely forbidden. As for me, I am trying to run that branded Despia, so I'll be looking forward to that, seeing how I can upgrade it with Photon Hypernova. We got Galactic Karibo. I am happy to be back in the game and to actually see various Karibos still making their way into this game. Karibo is a staple, but to see different variations. Chaos Beast, Light of the Branded, Scareclaw Kashtira. We got our Ninja, Kashtira Big Bane, Sour Scheduling, Red Vinegar Vamoose, Tally-Ho, Springins, Tally-Ho. Still have a chance to pull 3 more Ultras and another secret, or hopefully even better than that, you know? Photon Emperor, Kashtira Overlap. We got our Cardin, the Clear Sighted, Gishki, Necro Mirror, Chaos Phantasm, Sario the Silver Wing Axe, and tier limits Perlegia. My objective when I went to the locals was to actually see if I still understand the concept of side decking and making sure that I can pull that off when we do go to YCS 250, which is going to be in Los Angeles at the LA Convention Center. So I wanted to make sure I actually still had that. And after a couple games, I did start pulling off side decks and being able to pull it off and counter various decks I was going up against at locals. Everyone was welcoming and, you know, cheering me on, hoping I get actually good cards. So we did pull my friend Pearly, so that was fun. Gigantic Thundercross, Yorimaru the Armor Ninja, Photon Emperor, and would you look at that? We got one of the good Ultra cards here, Big Welcome Labyrinth. It's not the best, but as for an Ultra, that's one of the ones that you do want to look for. Big Welcome Labyrinth, special summon 1 Labyrinth monster from your hand, deck, or the graveyard. Then return 1 monster you control to the hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Fiend monster you control, or if you control a level 8 or higher Fiend monster, you can target 1 card your opponent controls instead. Return that card to the hand. You can only use 1 Big Welcome Labyrinth effect per turn, and only once that turn. If you're not going to be using it for a Labyrinth card, you can actually just send this card to the graveyard. So if this is in your graveyard, you can actually use it for the new Dark World deck, which is going to be pretty nice. I could be wrong. I would have to do some play testing, and I do want to understand the deck. It's one of those decks I've never played back in the days, but always wanted to, and to send cards to the graveyard. But that's something I've always had a little bit of difficulty to play that style. So maybe it gives me a chance to actually play it, right? Alright, so this is the last card on the right side. We are halfway through, guys, and we got a pretty good pull so far. We're not done yet, and here we go. We got another, actually this is a super, but this is one that I was looking into for Tri-Brigades. Tri-Brigade Ars Bucephalus the second. Alright, so this is a winged beast, 3 Beast Warriors, or Winged Beast monsters cannot be special summoned from the extra deck unless you have 3 or more Tri-Brigade spells and trap cards in your graveyard. Unless you're running a pretty good Tri-Brigade engine with the spells and traps, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you special summon a monsters. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish this card, also banish all cards your opponent controls. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. You can only use the effects of Tri-Brigade Arms Mercifulness II once per turn. Alright, so unless you can meet those of having spell and trap cards in your graveyard, that's pretty difficult to pull off. It's a 3500 beater, but it's also a link 5, so it's very much asking for a lot to pull this guy off. Chaos Beast, Light of the Branded, Scareclaw Kashtira. Oh, and would you look at that, Gishki Grimness. But we pulled Pressured Planet Wraith Soft. Alright, so this is a new card, a new secret rare, and this card is crazy. Alright, so this is a field spell card, I believe. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. Monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each different attribute on the field. If a Kashtira Shangri-Ira you control activates an effect, except during damage step, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. Even having this on the field, by activating Shangri-Ira, you can destroy another card on the field. You can only use this effect of Pressured Planet once per turn. You can only activate 1 Pressured Planet Wraith Soth per turn. It limits how many times you can use this effect per turn and how many of these you can actually play per turn, right? Because if you get rid of this and you put a secondary down, it's saying you can't. So that's very good. But at the same time, just keeping this out there and having this combined with the Shangri-Ira, it's going to be busted. You'll be able to control the field pretty much. Control the field, yeah. Alright, so I do want to say that was one of the cards I was hoping to get in this. And that's probably our money card for this box. I'm really happy with this pull. And it's definitely made this box worth it. Light of the Branded, Dramatic Story, Gishki Grimness, and we got Eevee Gishki, Neri Manas, Gishki Necro Mirror, Cassie Muller, Ice Jade Manifestation, and Balsal Trace. Alright, so the thing is, with the rest of this box, we are looking at pulling 2 more ultra rare cards. If we do get lucky, we can pull something even better. Branded Befallen, Monocroid, Diabolantis, the Menacing Mantis, Core of Chaos, Dogmatica Matrix, Galaxy Summoner, Mental Tuner, Mina Iruka, Focused Aquamirror, Kashtira Overlap, Galaxy 100, Chaos Beast, Dino Mondo, and we got, and I believe this is an ultra rare, but this is the best ultra rare you can pull out of this box. Kashtira Rise Heart. Awesome. So we pulled a few of these guys. If you control a Kashtira monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. With Kashtira Fenrir automatically hitting the field, this guy can come out right after it as a special summon. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except XYZ monsters. During your main phase, if this card was normal summon or special summon this turn, you can banish 1 Kashtira card from your deck, except Rise Heart. Banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck face down, and if you banish any, this card's level becomes 7. Perfect! Alright, so Kashtira Fenrir is a level 7. I was wrong about level 5 and level 6 earlier, but this puts this guy at level 7. And if you banish any, this card's level becomes 7. You can only use each effect of Kashtira Rise Heart once per turn. Alright, that is super cool. Having Kashtira, having Fenrir, you are going to be able to XYZ into a rank 8. Busted, that is amazing. So definitely pick up on these guys if you're running Kashtira decks. It'll definitely upgrade you guys, especially after the ban list. So you'll have space to run these guys. Awesome. I want to say out of the top 3 ultra rare cards to pull, we did pull 2 out of those 3. We still have a chance to pull that last one, and hopefully we do, making this one of the the better boxes out of the case that we got. Tally ho, Spring Ends, tally ho. Bi-Steel Baldrake again, awesome. Super Producer. Made to order mermaid outfitter. Great name, great name. Eyes, Numero Creation. Feria, I almost thought this was like a collector's rare, just because of the way that the rest of the card looks. Fairy and the Secular Sorcerer. There you are. Gishki, Kashtira Overlap, and we got Dimensional Allotrope Varus. Alright, and our final ultra rare is going to be Leviathan, Generator Boss of Shadows. I'm not quite familiar with this fairy deck. You can only control one of these guys. Monsters your opponent controls lose 1000 attack defense. Quick effect. You contribute this XYZ summoned card. Special summon one non-fairy generator XYZ monster from your extra deck. Then you can attach cards from any field and or graveyard to that special summon monster as material. Up to the number of materials this card had. That's pretty decent. I mean, I gotta look at the entire deck to actually see if that's actually a good card to actually add. But that does round off our main cards that we pulled from this box. The Cash Money card was our Pressured Planet Raitsoth, and definitely would be running this if I was to run a Kashtira deck, Kashtira engine in any deck, really. Tally ho, Spring Ends, tally ho. Chaos Beast, Core of Chaos. We got Numeron Creation, Giant Ball Game, and Gold Pride Start Your Engines. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, target one of those monsters. Reveal 3 Gold Pride monsters from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks for you to special summon, shuffle the rest into your deck, then destroy the targeted monster. So you get to blow up a card as well as bring a card out from your deck. Pretty decent. I mean, with the engine nowadays, that setting a card to set up for the next turn, you're pretty much losing the game. That's how I see it. Alright guys, that's it for this box. We're looking at Reinbrum the Striking Dragon. This is a new card for your Fallen of Albaz decks. Like I said, your branded Despias. Yeah, so these cards you definitely want to run at least one. Fallen of Albaz with one Beast Warrior or Winged Beast monster. When a Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, or Link monster's effect is activated, you can negate that effect. Then you can return one monster card from the field to the hand. So that means you can send one card from your opponent's side of the field to the hand. During your opponent's turn, while this card is in your graveyard, you can target either your Fallen of Albaz or you can target this guy. Special summon one and banish the other. You can only use the effect each effect of Reinbrum the Striking Dragon once per turn. So that's pretty cool. Gravekeeper's Inscription. I could see this card becoming a side deck card, right? Start of your main phase 1, apply one of the following effects. Until the end of your opponent's turn, neither player can activate card effects in the graveyard. Neither player can banish cards from the graveyard. Neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard. So if you're looking to stop them from actually making any progress, this is definitely going to hurt them when you pass the turn back to your opponent. Big Welcome Labyrinth, we did cover that, so we did have a set. There we go, we have 4 now. And then you officially have a card called Tearlament's Kashtira. Insane, it's both of these cards, right? During the main phase quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, banish one Kashtira or Tearlament's card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can send the top 3 cards of your either player's deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Tearlament's Kashtira once per turn. So it really helps out. It runs just like Tearlament's for milling effects. Like we covered Cashtira Rise Heart and how he is definitely going to be helpful with Cashtira Fenrir, as well as here is your Cashtira Arise Heart. Alright, so this is a machine, and the cost of it in XYZ is 3 level 7 monsters. Once per turn, you can also XYZ summon Cashtira Arise Heart by using one Cashtira monster you control. There's an effect of Cashtira Shangri-La was successfully activated this turn. Transfer its materials to this card. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Once per chain, each time a card is banished, attach one banished card to this card as material. Of course, another once per turn quick effect, you can detach 3 materials from this card, then target one card on the field, banish it face down. That's a lot, but definitely it's something you do want to consider actually running one of. Like I said, I gotta look at these decks and see how they're being run. Waiting for the next tournament to actually hit and seeing how people were actually running. These are another secret rares that we've found topping the charts right now. Over $10 cards, and this is a really good card to have. I got 2 triple tactics thrust. I am looking for a third one, so definitely glad that I was able to pick up on 2 of these guys. And here we go. Pressured Planet Raid Off. Because of this case, I was actually able to pull with you guys a full set of these guys. So we have that. We did talk on this, but we didn't talk about Cashtira Theosis. And you can see here, Rise Heart is right on the front of this card. Target one Cashtira monster you control. Special summon one Cashtira monster with a different attribute from your deck in defense position. Also, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you can special summon monsters from the extra deck except XYZ monsters. If this card is banished, you can target one of your banished Cashtira cards except Cashtira Theosis. Add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Cashtira Theosis once per turn. That means your banished cards actually come back to your hand and you can actually play off of those guys. That is totally awesome. I'm glad I got a set of these guys. It almost makes me want to play Cashtiras, but I gotta look at how much my budget is, making sure we can play it, making sure we can be competitive when it comes to YCS 250. And the top card for the case, that is the entire case now, is our Tri-Brigade Arms Bucephalus II. This card is actually a Starlight rare. Looking at how the prices are going for all the Starlight rares, it is the lowest of all of them, but it is your prize card when you buy a case. And that's saying you might get 1 per case. You might get 2 per case. I've seen that happen before. Typically, it is one per case. These are your prize cards. This is what you're looking for when you guys are going for a Photon Hypernova box. It's the ultra rares that still come up on top. Of course, you get two chances to pull one of these guys, and these guys are your money makers right here. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm hyped up to actually go attend YCS 250 with my friends from back then and actually getting to see where they're at in life and actually just having a great time. What card games are all about. Having a great time, going to your local shops and, having fun tournaments and having fun playing card games and stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys had a great time watching this and seeing what we've pulled and an entire case actually rather than just one box. See you guys. Take care.